What's good, everybody? Man, I'm back at you with about to be another great interview. I'm about to have YSM Sports Media on here to talk about last night's fight and a few other things. So y'all just tune in with me and let me get started. What's good? What's good, my brother?
Los, what's good, man?
Man, I'm good, man. Nice to meet you, man.
Pleasure's all mine, bro.
Hey, this y'all know this is YSM Sports Media. And you know what I'm saying, give me an opportunity to talk with him this morning. And I watch all your videos, man. Especially I started watching you when I was checking out a lot of following Greg Hackett and watching a lot of the videos, and I was like, oh man, this guy knows his boxing too. But you always behind the camera. So now you on the camera, and you know, I'm gonna get your insight and see what you think about, you know what I'm saying, last night fight. I'm gonna tell you first and foremost, you know, it was a great fight. Lomo done a great job. But one thing about me, I like to cut the volume off on the fights because I know a lot of times when you listen to boxing, if they, you know what I'm saying, if they like a certain fighter, they can kind of make your opinion biased. So what do you think about last night's fight? How do you think the fight went, and who do you think won?
All right. First, the fight didn't go how I thought it would go. I thought Dev would impose his will in the later rounds, and I thought Lomachenko's age would show. That wasn't the case. I scored the fight 7-5 for Devin. Really, really close. A lot of swing rounds, but I felt like Lomachenko threw a lot of throwaway punches in the sense of he threw seven to land two, and the punches really didn't have a lot of muscle on them. Whereas though Dev was landing a lot of hard, sharp body shots, and I scored those better than the I ain't gonna call them powder puff flurries, but like Lomachenko didn't really start landing like the real hard stuff till later on in the fight. So yeah, I gave it 7 rounds to 5 to Dev. I felt like Dev won the 12th. Lomachenko like took the 12th off. It was like he thought he had it in a bag or something, and he could have pressed forward and at least got a draw in my book and actually draw on the cards if he would have won that last round. So
yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think the first 6 rounds, I gave Lomo the 3rd round.
me too. Me
I
too.
thought the first 6, you know what I'm saying, could be some swing rounds in there, but I gave those rounds to Devin. Devin was doing a lot of effective body work, which I think it paid off. But I thought it was gonna play out like you thought it was gonna play off. I thought the body work was gonna wear Lomo down. I think the problem, like I seen a lot of the fighters, you know, a lot of the fighters they picked Lomo after the fight, and I know a lot of people don't like Devin, so I kind of, you know what I'm saying, knew it was gonna go that way. But the thing with Devin that I'm seeing that I knew was gonna happen if he ever got in a close fight. I thought his power, with him not having a lot of power at that weight class, I felt like that, you know what I'm saying, he might not get that decision last night. What do you see happening like with a fight with him and Tank? How do you see that fight playing out?
I'm still 50-50 on that fight, being that I've never seen Tank in there with somebody to the ability of Devin. I've never seen Devin in there with anybody like Loma. I think Loma's a great fighter. I don't think that he's as good as Tank right now. And I see situations where Tank could give him a lot of problems now, seeing Devin in there with a really good southpaw. But I see things that Dev could do that could offset Tank. Like Tank is fighting kind of like the same kind of fighter, guys that'll be available, like available. When you're available to a puncher, eventually he's going to crack you upside your head. So I definitely got to see that fight, but I think Devin needs to make certain changes. I didn't like his activity on the inside. He landed one shot that was good, but didn't follow it up. He really wasn't doing like the pendulum shift. It's something that they teach in Philly, where you change angles on the inside.
Right.
There's some things that I could see, but it was definitely Dev has more tools than what people thought, but he still needs to add more tools.
Right, definitely. I think he definitely needs to work on his inside game. That's where he's lacking. He kind of, when he fights on the inside, you can tell that he's not comfortable there. And I don't know if he's gonna. I think 140 would be a better weight class for Devin. I think that because of the weight drain and stuff, I think that that's where the people say he don't have power. But I think he's cutting so much weight that it's taken from his power. I think going up to 140 would definitely change that. But Shakur Stevenson stepped in the ring last night, and I don't know. Do you see that fight happening next, or do you think it'll be a Tank? Which one of those fights could you see happening first?
That's actually a tough one. I don't know. I don't see none of those fights happening for about a year. If you notice that they weren't really keen on letting Shakur in the ring, and then when they let him in the ring, they got Devin out. That shows me that they don't really want that fight next. Because if it was planned for next, they would have did what they did with Lomachenko and Devin. But yeah, I don't see those fights happening for a year. Right now, they don't make sense. I've never seen back-to-back tough fights for a fighter, like back-to-back really, really big fights.
Right.
That's not something that normally happens. So, yeah, I don't see them dudes. I don't see them dudes touching gloves for at least late 2024.
Okay, someone asked a question. I think it's 1992. So I'm gonna ask you. They say you don't think there's tougher fights at 140 for Devin.
Yeah, bro, 140. Shit, you can get your ass whipped from 1 to 15 at 140. 140 is my favorite division.
Okay.
I think there are tough fights for him. I think that Tank and Shakur are special fighters. I don't see anybody as special at 40 as of yet. It's a lot of young dudes that I think are nice, like Richardson Hitchings and who's another kid at 140? A kid, Brandon Lee. I don't think Brandon Lee's special, but I want to see more. Gary Antoine Russell. But, yeah, he could easily lose a bunch of fights at 40, but 135, the only dudes that could possibly beat him is Shakur and Tank, in my opinion.
Yeah. Right. I think Regis. I like Regis, even though he lost that fight to Josh Taylor. I think Regis is slept on. I think he's a pretty good fighter. I think that would be a great fight for Devin at 140. How you think that fight will play out?
I need to see Devin at 40.
Right.
I need to see Devin. Like, 140 scares me, bro.
Okay. Yeah. We got an upcoming fight, and what is it? Teofimo Lopez and Josh Taylor. They're about to take the ring pretty soon here, and I think Teo's problem. I think Teo is actually a good fighter, but I do think that he needs to get a new trainer. I think his dad keeps him delusional. What do you think about Teo's situation and what he needs to change in order to get that victory against Josh Taylor?
Accountability. One thing that we are taught early on as men is that we are accountable for our actions. Teofimo Lopez isn't accountable for his actions, and Teofimo Lopez Sr. doesn't hold him accountable for his actions. And you can see that when he wants to blame everybody for how he's promoted at top rank. Everybody that has nothing to do with the situation. Like you talking about the black fighters, they ain't got nothing to do with you trying to stage a coup and get the purse bid on Triller. They got nothing to do with that. They got nothing to do with you getting cooked by George Kambosos. They got nothing to do with you looking like shit against Pedro Campa and Sandor Martin. They got nothing to do with that. Hold yourself accountable for what you're doing in the gym. Hold yourself accountable for how you are conducting your business. Like,
I definitely agree. I think that T.O. definitely needs to hold himself accountable. There's a lot of things that he can do differently. Like that's why I said he needs to really get rid of his father and get a new, get another trainer. I know that his father is probably gonna be hard to do, but sometimes in boxing you got to make those type of hard decisions. And I don't see him doing it. And I think I'm gonna be honest with you. If he don't make any changes, I don't see him beating Josh Taylor. I don't see it as possible. I mean, he has power, but I just think that Josh Taylor is I'm gonna say a two-time better version than George Kambosos when it comes to boxing. And if he fights, you know what I'm saying? If he fights like he fought Kambosos, Teal's gonna get hurt in that fight right there. I see him getting beat bad.
Oh, Josh Taylor definitely gonna cook him. I'm sorry. Yo, if anybody went in comments, Josh Taylor's gonna cook Teal. If Teal's not right, if Teal don't make any changes, like when you talked about the switching the trainers, I feel like that's the dad's call. It's hard for the son to make that call because it would put a lot of strain on a relationship. But as a dad, you recognize when your kids are plateauing or declining, and you got to make that change. Even if it's a situation where you're still in the corner, but you letting somebody else with more experience take the lead.
Right. Yep. You're right. You're right because I know like with Devin and his dad don't mind bringing somebody in to help or whatever. That's why they said the one thing about Devin, they used to go to different gyms and stuff and listen to different trainers. So his dad was learning. I don't think Teal's dad really wants to learn. He has that ego where you can't tell him nothing. He feels like he just knows everything when it comes to boxing. So like you said, he's gonna get cooked, and I really see it happen. What do you think is gonna go on with this Errol Spence and Terence Crawford situation? Do you think we're gonna finally get that fight in July?
Oh man, you had to bust that question out. From what I'm hearing, the fight's almost done. The problem is, I don't want to hear anything. Just give me the announcement. Like people, my sources like, yo, it's about to happen, and I done got so high and then so low in this fight. I'm like, yo, just tell me when it's going to be announced, man. I ain't even trying to hear nothing else. Yo. Like they like a sitcom where it's a guy and a girl and you want them to get together, but then they go back and forth like that. Will they? Won't they? Shit. Like I'm over it, yo.
Right. Me too. I've been over it. I want to fight, but I'm at the point where if I don't get it, I just don't even care no more. That's where I'm at right now with it. But I'm a big Errol Spence fan, and I was telling Greg this how I thought the fight was gonna play out. Now he said he thought it was gonna play out different. He picked Crawford, to win, and he told me why. And I told him my reason was I think that that Crawford's a slow starter. I think Spence throws a lot of punches. He's high volume. You know what I'm saying? He lets his hands go, and I don't see him slowing down. I don't know if Crawford's going to be able to handle that style. I think Spence is going to apply a lot of pressure on him. I see him coming forward, going to the body a lot, working Crawford, and, Crawford tiring out in the later rounds. What Greg said was he saw was Crawford, because of Spence letting his hands go so much, Crawford being able to catch him. How do you think that fight plays out?
I'm actually 50-50 on that fight. I could see it happening the same way. I could see Spence. I could see Spence applying a lot of pressure, walking Crawford down, and just making him really, really uncomfortable. I can see Spence winning two ways, whereas though with Bud, I'm starting to lean towards just a stoppage.
Right.
I'm not sure if Bud could beat Spence in 12 rounds because he's a slow starter, because Spence is really active and he gets stronger as he goes along. Now, there are going to be plenty of opportunities for Terence Crawford to catch Spence in the middle, but I'm not sure. Like, I'm still 50-50. I can see it going, Spence, just walks him down and just punishes him for 12 rounds, or I can see where Crawford catches him in the middle, man. It's one of those fights I got to see, but the layoff is what's worrying me about that fight. The layoff is seeming like it's going to affect the quality.
I think so too, and I kind of feel like did Crawford and them put this in play like that, like they're really keeping Spence out the ring for a long time. But the thing about Spence that we know is he came back from a car wreck. He had a long layoff. Then the eye, what was it? No, was it the eye surgery? Yeah, it was the eye surgery, wasn't it? He was off for a long time. So it seems like to me, I seen him the other day with Ryan Garcia, and Spence looked like he was that picture I seen. He looked like he was in excellent shape. That's another thing. Ryan Garcia has changed trainers. Now he got Derrick James. I'm real high on Derrick James as a trainer. Now he had with Joe Goosen, and Joe Goosen said when it comes to Ryan, you don't train Ryan. You don't really train Ryan. I guess you collab with Ryan. Do you think it's gonna help Ryan as far as the fighter, or do you? I mean, because both two, well, Eddie Reynoso, he said Ryan didn't listen, and basically Joe Goosen was saying the same thing. Do you think that fight with Tank gonna wake Ryan up and make him look at things differently and take boxing serious?
It's hard to say because it depends. You got certain guys that hate losing. They don't like winning. They hate losing.
Right.
What kind of guy is Ryan? Because he lost, but did he make like $10 or $15 million? So, like, what really drives him in the sport? And that will let me know if Derrick James could like make a difference. Because if Joe Goosen knows boxing, Eddie Reynoso knows boxing. These are good trainers.
Right.
Now, are they as good as Derrick James? I'm inclined to say no. As of right now, I think Derrick James he's having a heck of a time, right? It's about Ryan Garcia. It's about what's inside Ryan Garcia. It's about, does he really want this? I don't think Derrick James nor Joe Goosen also can make him want this. That has to come from within.
You're definitely right about that. It's a fight that a lot of people are not talking about, but I'm waiting on this fight. And it's Monster Inu and Cool Boy. How do you see that fight? What do you think about that fight? You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are saying Stephen Fulton is not going to, be able to I'm leaning toward Fulton winning that fight. I think he outclassed his Monster. I think his style, I think it's going to be too much. I don't think that Monster's going to be able to lay gloves on him like people think. What do you see? How you see that fight playing out with those two?
First, shout out to Real Street Kid. I think Cool Boy stops him late, 9-10.
Right.
Cool Boy's a lot bigger than what people think. Like, he's a lot bigger than what people think. And the good big man is going to beat the good little man. Size does play a part in boxing. And I think that Inoue made a mistake in the sense of he's moving up and fighting the best 122-pounder with a style that he's never experienced. Like, dude, when somebody says that Inoue's never fought a black fighter, people are like, oh, that's racist. No, style, right? Style. Black fighters do not fight like any other fighters on earth, just like Mexicans. So your first time going up against that particular style is the elite version of that style. You're going to have problems in a fight. I don't care how good you are. Do you fight against a Mexican fighter to be Chavez Sr.? No. Like, you're going to get used to that pressure. That's why Mexican fighters have the tendency to go to the UK fighters, because that's a style that UK fighters rarely see. There isn't Mexican sparring in the UK. And the Mexico really doesn't put a value on amateur boxing. So it's not like they're seeing that style in the Olympics. So when they first see a Mexican fighter for the first time in the pros, it's a culture shock.
Right. Definitely agree with that. Yes, that's what I was saying. That style, he's never seen it before. And it's going to be something that's going to be really different for him. Like you said, he is going up fighting the best 122-pounder in the world. So I think it's going to be trouble. And I was going back to a fight I was thinking about when Canelo first, he fought that Floyd, when he fought Floyd, or when he fought Lara. Those styles were really difficult for him. And, he still struggles with that style even to this day. And I think, like you said, he's about to run into. He's going to run into that problem right there. I see it being a pretty good fight, but I ain't never think about the stoppage. I seen, him getting beat. But if he stops him, that would be big. That would be really big. Before I let you go, I wanted to ask you one more thing. What do you think next for Canelo? You think it's time to retire, or do you think he needs to give Benavidez a fight?
I don't think it's time to retire. Canelo is still a top-level fighter. I think he got to give Benavidez a crack, right? I don't want to see you fight Bivol. I didn't ask for Bivol. The people didn't ask for. We didn't ask for that. We said Andre, Charlo, Benavidez. That's what we said, right? The win or lose. Then you can ride off in the sunset. But I need you to fight the guys in your era, the guys in your weight class. I don't want to see You can't beat that guy, yo. You can't.
He can't.
It's
No, he can't.
you can't beat him, yo.
Yeah, he can't beat him. Oh yeah, David Morrell. Do you think that him and Benavidez will be a good fight?
I think David Morrell stops the whole division.
Me too. Me too. I definitely think Morrell beats anybody in that weight class. I think he's too much for anybody. People sleeping on him, talking about he don't got enough fights. But that dude's something different. I mean, he's an animal.
David Morrell he's the Jaron Ennis of 168 pounds. He's the monster among men, yo. I don't think any dude, no, man. And there's a lot of fighters I like. I like Caleb, bro. Nah, man. he's too much.
Man, I appreciate you tuning in with me. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, man. I really appreciate you tuning in and giving me this opportunity, man. You know, it's hard getting into this boxing circle, and I love boxing. You know what I'm saying? It's something I used to do, and just I've always kept up with it, and I'm a diehard fan. And you know, it's hard getting in, talking with people, and getting the opportunity. So anytime I get an opportunity, man, I'm really appreciative of that. And just let everybody know, man, where they can find you. You know what I'm saying? Where you putting videos, dropping your videos, and everything.
All right, well, thanks for having me on, man. Any help you need, just reach out, man, because I remember me starting out. And I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I ain't gonna lie. Right. But, yeah, you can find me at YSM Sports Media. We have a website, ysmsportsmedia.com, YSM Sports Media on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. I put a lot of content on YouTube. Yeah, man, I love what I do.
All right. Man, me too, bro. Appreciate you, man. God bless you, and have a good rest of your day, brother.
Man.